Welcome to Aural Hygiene. This is the podcast where we look at educational films, experimental cult films, interesting documentaries. This is Matt. Here today with me is Mark Malek, who is now going to say something.
Something.
All right. Okay, so today's movie is kind of your picadillo, your obsession. You introduced me to you did introduce me to this movie, which is apparently a rare case. Do you want maybe this one needs a little background first, I guess is my point.
Well, this film is called The Astrologer. It was made by a man named Craig Denny, who was a con artist. He was a fake astrologer in real life. Then he made a movie about. Is this where we would put the summary of the film?
You can kind of plug it all together. You can run it all together if you like.
Okay. Sorry. Great podcasting for me here. Anyway, he made a film about him, cast himself as a fake astrologer who becomes a real astrologer, who makes a film about himself as in the film about him being a real astrologer, and his movie business destroys him somehow. And then he disappeared around 1986, and he may or may not have faked his own death.
It's like those.
He didn't license any of the music in the film. Used very long takes of stuff, mostly by the Moody Blues, which basically kept the film out of distribution forever. And I suspect that since Alamo Drafthouse was just sold, this is just pure speculation, but they were just sold to some kind of investment firm. And since they led the restoration on this, it may have been someone on the inside who leaked it, but it finally was leaked to YouTube after not even being allowed to complete its touring schedule when they restored it in, I believe it was 2018 or so. So this is
got because you jumped on
rare.
it. Get it now. It's on YouTube. Rip it.
Yeah, it was literally, I went over to my friend's house, one of the first like post-vaccination things. And my friend, Brian Lanano, was like, hey, did you hear the astrologer leaked? And I was like, no way. I checked for it last week and it wasn't up. That's how often I checked for the film.
And sorry, we do like to link to YouTube, but it's probably not going to happen with this one. Because even if it shows up again,
down, yeah, you can find it.
Yeah, but you can find it if you really look, and you might have to be patient. There's certain times you have to wait, but it's like with the story, it's like meta, man. It's like staring into those like infinite mirrors, you know.
It's like staring into your cosmic. What was that? Cosmic mirror.
Oh, right. That was
a thing.
That was pretty awesome.
The only science fiction thing in the film, aside from astrology being real.
Right. But this, I was about to say, this is the utter bullshit version of astrology.
Oh, yeah, because the other versions of astrology are totally real.
Well, okay. I'm gonna throw a bone out for
okay.
some level of astrology. So, like the Earth is affected by the moon, right? People's moods are affected, tides are changed. So the other planets have a gravitational pull that can slightly affect things. Now I'm talking a macro affecting like humanity as a whole effect, not like you're going to meet a girl tomorrow, right? So
I mean, if you blew up the moon, the tides would probably destroy the Earth. So I'll give you that. If you blew up Uranus, probably nothing would happen.
Oh, or do I need to go straight to all those notes about Uranus?
We can talk about Uranus in a minute. Angular Uranus.
Goddamn angular Uranus, release of tension from Uranus. I like that.
Yeah, well, it all affects the Devil's Triangle, man. Did you look up if any of that stuff was even remotely real?
What?
Angular Uranus? Like, is that a thing?
Those are terms. I mean, they have charts like that, but I guess my point is if you were to do a chart for the human race based more on the planets, that might yield some results. But yeah, if you're trying to like give someone like a private psychic session, that's pretty bullshit. I said I wrote in the notes, I bet I can wrap astrology and make it sound reasonable. I don't know if I'm succeeding or not, but
yeah, you probably didn't come here to do that though.
No, because I don't really care anyway. So
I'll tell you what is real: defrauding the motion picture industry.
Yeah. And what I write in here like 5 times, oh shit, the Moody's. Finally, these guys rock it full dad style.
You know, the long one was was it Procol Haram or
Oh,
something?
that's almost the same thing.
Procol
Harem.
Boko Haram.
Okay.
I don't know that scene that I mentioned. I was totally obsessed with, where they're basically just having drinks at a table and the camera barely moves,
Yeah.
and then eventually the date goes bad. And there's
that's
just no
Procol
reason
Harum.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a completely ridiculous line or scene, excuse me.
It was just they needed to illustrate why the sex worker that he just married, the marriage wasn't going to work out. It's just sort of like
yeah, because the song's describing everything. I knew there was a little thing. It's like,
yeah,
have a dinner with people you love, but soon you're not gonna love them anymore. Let's order another drink.
Yeah, they mentioned the red curtains and the champagne. It's just like they're just like, hey, let's take these lyrics and just build a scene around it to this song that I didn't pay for, and then do a 4-minute scene based on it.
Yeah.
That's it's almost like a combination of bad movie and meta movie, and that the meta of it is that this guy is obviously a terrible and ridiculous narcissist filmmaker, and
so is the real guy, and so is the character, and so is the character in the movie, and the character in the movie.
Yeah, the character in the movie is always shirtless, even though his body is just like a pile of dough. Well, including when he plays himself in the movie within the movie, he is shirtless for the entire scene.
Well, he's like a doughboy. He likes to get poked. But I don't.
Narcissists always are.
Yeah. I guess we'll go a little bit. Do something we usually don't do here, and maybe actually work through the plot a little bit. We start off at the trippy carnival. That's one of the things that threw me off. I think I didn't complete. Well, okay, it's a bad movie to start with, but it wasn't the most enjoyable of bad movies because it didn't have like all those long trippy sequences that I expect from a proper like 60s or 70s bad movie. We just did LSD 25, although this episode is going to be released first, but LSD 25, I was like, there's like a good like 3-4 minutes where if you just take out the narration, you got a brackage film, you know?
Well, this movie has no message.
No, this is more bad in the sense of like The Room or something, except that Tommy Wilson is charming and this guy's not.
That is true, but the similarities are sort of that both of them are competently made enough that they're not excruciating to watch. Well, The Room's pretty excruciating to watch at the end, but I still maintain that. And it might be kind of excruciating to watch it with a bunch of people screaming at it. But
okay, I sent an invite, man, for this podcast. We'll see if that takes hold or not.
Yeah, he's going to ask you for money.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I might edit that part out. Yeah. No one's done that yet. It's weird. It's crazy. At the most, it was like, how many people are listening? Yeah, how many people are listening? I don't know. But okay,
we'll see. I don't know. He might maybe he'll ask you for. You should try for Greg Sestero. I bet he would do it.
Okay, sure.
And he's like the regular one.
Right. Okay. Yeah, you can hook me with that later. That's shop talk, man. Shop talking.
Yeah.
I gotta edit. That's fine.
That's all right.
No, that's fine because I make a mental note when I need to edit, and then I can just go whoa, and I'll see it in the file. Okay. So as a kid, he's huffing paint thinner.
Yeah, he starts off as a.
That made him the man he is today in the 70s.
He was huffing paint thinner, and then he started stealing diamonds. No, stealing rubies. Or did he steal diamonds? They said he stole diamonds at some point.
Right, but maybe rubies is the main point of the. Well, it's not even the main point of the plot. It's like the middle of the plot, and then it's forgotten because now he's a rich filmmaker. It's
really weird how that plot ends up being like 40 minutes long.
Yeah, I was like, is this actually about? Is this like Shit Diamond? You know, is that the name? Should that be the name of this movie?
You know what doesn't take up a whole lot of time in the film is him doing astrology.
And it already takes up too much time, though.
But it does make it onto the front page of almost every newspaper in the world.
That's right. That's amazing.
Which is very interesting.
But yeah, okay, so he's a kid, he's still at the carnival, and then suddenly jump to Kenya. It's like we're just going jump in time space with no. I mean, I guess they like kind of allude to what's happening, but it's like there are no baby steps here.
Okay, so I was I don't know if I missed the part how he became a real astrologer in this film this time I watched it. Did you actually catch that?
He was
Or
real at the
did
beginning, man. He was
it
real
just
at the
never,
carnival.
maybe it was the paint?
The paint thinner made him an
The paint
astrologer.
thinner? Yeah, it was the paint thinner.
Oh yeah, because he had the full hippie van. Yeah, I was during those carnival scenes, especially the later parts. Like this is only like a few shades away from a Wes Anderson flick. You know, I mean, in that case, it would be well written and acted and stuff, but it had like just that like quirky, oddball feel. You know,
Yeah,
but
it you know, it was globetrotting. Like Wes Anderson would do something like "Let's go to Kenya"
yeah,
to prove how messed up our characters are.
and it's like now he's in prison suddenly, and now he's suddenly back out of prison. It's like, do we really need to be going through all of this?
Yeah, and then there was that whole subplot where he was hooking up with that dude who was sexually assaulting that lady. And one of my favorite parts of the film is when he comes up on him and he says, "Don't kill me."
Well, if you don't
And then
want
he
someone to
kills
kill
him.
you, what else are you gonna say?
Well, he did kill him though, so it's like it didn't even work. It was just the delivery. And then the lady gets eaten by quicksand because I guess they didn't have any use for her in the plot anymore.
Something like that. But what is the plot at this point? It's a little bit anyway, then he shoots a
It's the
snake.
astrologer.
How do you
Yeah,
shoot a it's like flying through the air or something?
and they were obviously super harmless. I mean, I don't know. Maybe not everyone knows anything about snakes, but they're obviously very harmless snakes that didn't care what was going on and were not like trying to attack anybody.
I mean,
except for they killed that one guy for some reason.
do you know about like filming locations here?
Here in Japan?
No. I mean, the Astrologer, was it just all shot in California, or did they actually go globetrotting or something? Because it is a Republic picture.
I believe they did film abroad, like a fair amount, because it was like the budget was something like $6 million, which is kind of a lot considering that most of it is just exposition.
Yeah,
so much of it is exposition, and he didn't pay for any music.
Right, which clearly would have been a large part of that budget if he had.
Yeah, I can't imagine it would have been cheap to use like entire songs from the Moody Blues.
But yeah, well, and they obviously didn't. They save some money on actors, right? We get some like Garth Marenghi level acting here, except it's supposed to be like real acting.
Yeah, I didn't get what was up with his financial advisor, how he was basically like Dr. Steve Brule or whatever, and he had like that terrible fake like gray hair, and he said he only got to the 7th grade, but he was his financial advisor and was the best financial advisor in the world at the end, because he's like, "You got nothing." I'm jumping ahead too far.
I don't think it matters so much. Yeah, we haven't gotten out of Tahiti yet, man. Anyway, I was because I was like, those do look like some real streets. I mean, maybe it's like a really good redress of the Columbia backlot or something. I was like, that does look like they went somewhere and filmed this stuff.
Yeah, that looked like a location, because I just don't see anybody doing that type of film making it.
It's the rock and tiki bars.
There's multiple tiki
bars. Oh,
there
right,
are no boobs in the film except for the tiki bar. Just
right, because there's he's had the date with the lady. It's like I could see her boobs, but then they show you someone else's. Yeah, that's why she's in the movie. She was like, "I'll show you my boobs for no reason."
Is that a thing in Tahiti? Just hear my boobs in the tiki bar?
No, I think that's New Orleans. Girls Gone Wild.
Yeah, maybe. But there was no Girls Gone Wild in 78?
Girls Always Been Going Wild. I think it's 76,
yeah,
but I'm not 100% on that. But because I was like, did he just go back to the same tiki bar where he like had a beer bottle smash fight? You know, I guess it's a different tiki bar.
It was like I guess that he hit the guy who was walking behind him with a beer bottle because he was an astrologer and he knew the guy was coming up behind him.
I didn't even pick up on that. I thought he was just like trying to be badass.
I don't know. I don't see any reason why he would have like known the guy was behind him.
He is the best astrologer in the world in this movie. Well, obviously, but because they show you that tarot reader, and it's like I got a pack of tarot over there, man. I could give you a much better tarot reading. I need to refer to the instructions, but yeah.
Yeah, there was a part in the movie where someone was like, "Oh no, death is coming," and it's like the death card doesn't. Like that's every pedant knows that the death card doesn't actually mean that death is coming.
I did it. You know, I'm not like a tarot reader, but I was just fucking with the cards, and I had a guy, and a year or two ago, and I did a tarot reading. I was like, "Gee, that seems like a real negative tarot reading." Sorry. And then, like 6 months later, his life did turn to shit. So,
Oh, way to go!
oh well. Hey, I
Yeah,
can't fight the universe, man.
does he hate you now?
No.
Okay, good.
I was just reading. I was just reading the streams of the universe, man. You know, don't hate the player, kill the messenger. Wait, no, don't do that.
Wait, don't hate the player, don't kill the messenger. Just
Yeah.
let the quicksand take you.
Yeah. But yeah. Okay. I guess we can get. So he's there's all this rubies, blood diamond stuff. Ruby's a blood diamond, right? In Tahiti.
I mean, it's red. It's
This
got blood
doesn't
all
make any
over it.
sense. Now, the more I think about it, the less it makes sense. So
Yeah, and then he hides them, I think, underwater in a really long underwater scene, and then someone pays him for them, and now he's rich, and now he's famous, and now he has a meeting with
he's got a cosmic
an
mirror.
admiral. He has, yes, cosmic mirror. He has a meeting with an admiral whose office is basically a huge American flag. Is half of his office.
So he's the best astrologer in the world. He's needed by the Pentagon. Um, and he's the number one filmmaker of all time.
Yeah, his film within the film grosses $145 million.
That's insane,
which is like,
in 1976.
It's pre-Star Wars. It's like, I don't understand why he goes bankrupt at the end. Spoiler.
I don't understand why this movie didn't get the Star Wars spot, right? The film that what if this had been the film that, like, where the Tenant turnstile turned film, you know? Everything changed.
I bet if George Lucas's wife had edited it, it would have become as big as Star Wars.
Yeah, probably.
But anyway, so he has a cosmic mirror.
Uranus is a planet of explosions. It brings bad suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't think it was funny that they kept talking about Uranus. I don't know. At least go Uranus. Come on.
Then it's just like you got peed on. It's just like, a different joke.
And like you said, I wrote down, I sort of there's more lame ass financial talk here than astrology. But yeah, he hooks up with the carnival woman who's addicted to meth now, and has a Biff Tannen wedding.
And she has a mirror in her hotel that says "shit on life, hell on earth, God is dead."
That's awesome. They could have put a miniature version of that in Happy Meals in the 70s. That would have been some good cross promotion.
It seems obvious that she's not the one who wrote that on the mirror, so you assume that she just had a client who did that.
Oh no, I like to think she wrote that on the mirror.
Maybe.
Yeah.
She just seems like, what?
Oh yeah, you're great.
And then,
because it's not like they connected that deeply in the first part of the movie.
Well, and I don't know if you noticed, but the runtime at that point, when he finds the girl from the carnival, there's like 20 minutes left of the film.
Well, that's because they spent all the time with the stupid rubies.
And then we have the whole like bad date, and he has all of his art outside at the pool all the time for some reason. Like, I guess that's what rich people do. You just have all your art outside.
It's like, yeah, well, yeah, because it rains, and then it's like, oh, now it's time to buy more art because I'm rich and I can do that. I enjoy the Picasso. I don't care if anyone else does.
Yeah, I honestly cannot think of like a practical reason in real life why that would be there. Like, I cannot figure it out.
Like you said, he ran out of money real fast. I think it's his financial advisor and him are like drinking Popov vodka. That's just vomit headache fuel, you know.
And he fires somebody who looks like Shasha Kapoor, and that takes about 5 minutes for some reason to replace her with his wife, who already hates him, I guess.
I warned you not to spread, but you've got to spread.
They're all really confusing. Well, they kept talking about the movie business, even though the movie had already come out. And then at some point, his manager says that he has 3 movies and then through several TV shows. I wish they'd explained what that was.
But yeah, I really do wish real world headlines were along the line. Well, okay. Let's see what CNN has to offer at the moment. What is their headline at the moment? It's loading.
Oh wow, it says astrologer divorces ex-wife.
No way. Well, that I was going to be like, because we got the U.S. Navy drops famous astrologer. What's the real CNN headline? I want the astrologer headlines in my life. And my computer's too
me too.
slow. It's doing too many things. It's on Zoom. Up here, we can't sit by and watch this. Okay.
Okay.
That doesn't.
Is that? Are they talking about the astrologer's new movie?
Yes.
Is that good?
Yes. It's
well, you know
the
what?
Astrologer.
I don't know. Here's a headline. In Atlanta, our mayor is going to decline to run for re-election because Walgreens offered her a job.
Doing
That's
what?
real.
Doing what
drugs.
Doing drugs.
Don't sue me. I don't know. I don't know.
Get in this room and do some drugs all day. Hey, any mayor would. What was it? Marion Barry. I think he took that job. DC mayor.
Yeah, he
Marion
did.
Barry. Wasn't that his follow-up job? I'm just doing drugs now.
Rob Ford. R.I.P. Rob Ford as well.
Too soon. Okay. So I don't know. There may be a pretty pedantic reason this movie was lost, other than the than the financial.
No, it was.
Republic was not like, yeah, we're glad you just spent $6 million on this, man.
Yeah, it probably was a combination of it getting buried and then sued.
Right. I just got to imagine that boardroom meeting, probably with that guy with the fake gray mustache, just like, what are we gonna do this movie? It's
yeah, because I'm
pretty sure.
I didn't look this up, but I assume the Moody Blues were not on Republic Records.
I think they're on Decca. It's too deep. I have Dad Rock. I have some Moody Blues CDs somewhere around here, but they're in my pyramid of music.
I barely even heard of them before this movie came out.
Oh, yeah. Here, I don't know if you can see my pyramid of music down there.
Yeah, hey, what's up?
Yeah, but it's deep in the pyramid. It's like in the Queen's chamber. But there's no Queen there.
Maybe I'll get around to listening to Steely Dan at some point. I don't know.
Okay, do that first. I mean, the Moody Blues, I'm, to be honest, pretty whatever about. So
I like that first 10cc album.
Yeah.
Is that Dead Rock? That's actually probably
I just don't
weird.
know the album. Yeah, I just don't know the album so well.
It's kind of like weird. Sparks.
I mean, come on, this is 2021. Like, it's weird. Now we're at the point where the Death Cab for Cutie and Modest Mouse are like firmly Dad Rock, you know?
Wow. Yeah, that's.
Tell me Death Cab's not Dad Rock, man. I know. I'm just like, it's Dad. Oh, it was indie rock. Now it's Dad Rock.
There is stuff that now there's now stuff that when it came out, I was like, this is for dumb kids, and now it's Dad Rock.
No, I do remember. Actually, it was at your house probably around 2002 when you were in a house with some folks, and I remember there being a party there, and the Strokes playing, and the entire floor was moving up and down because people were jumping around. I was like, oh, this is the moment for this, and now it's past. That's the moment where that music converges. You know, I was like, this is kids of our day, and now we're turning into old farts. So
yeah, now I listen to Taylor Swift.
Oh, okay. I'm the only person that doesn't listen to Tay-Tay then.
No, you're not the only person, especially not in you're especially not the only person in your 40s who's a male who listens to Taylor Swift.
One of our other regular, Luke has a shrine to Taylor on one of his walls in his apartment.
Hell yeah. Well, the fact is that when you get right down to it, whatever we grew up. When we grew up, what was considered weird was punk, and now we've had a thing where punk has sort of been the exact same thing for 50 years.
Yeah,
and pop music is sometimes actually weird.
Yeah, I just made
has weird
just
voices and stuff.
In that house party in 2002, I made sure to put it like a mental pin there. So, in my mind, I can always like go right back to that moment, and okay, that's what it was like then. So.
I always remember I always remember the Strokes as being like, well, then Franz Ferdinand came out, and then the Futureheads came out, and then it was like, oh, well, Futureheads is way better, and then the Futureheads second album came out, and I was like, oh, this isn't as good anymore.
Well, that's why I'm
And
specifically throwing out the date 2002, right? Because like that shit
Yeah.
did get cooler a year or two later.
Yeah, every one of those bands' second albums was like, yeah, including the Strokes.
Let's make a movie and use all of their music and not license any of it.
Cool. It could be about how we made a movie about ourselves being famous podcasters.
Right. Okay. There we go. The podcaster.
Podcaster divorces ex-wife, loses $90 billion.
Is that Joe Rogan?
Navy hires podcaster to talk to whales.
I don't even have a response to that. Okay, cool. That's good. that needs to be our. There you go. We're writing the movie as it goes. So if anybody wants to fund a movie that'll be thrown in the gutter and sued to death, hire us.
well, have you seen Godzilla versus Kong yet? Is it out yet?
Not in Japan. To be honest, I could watch it, but I'm trying to hold my patience for the movie theater.
Yeah, it's worth seeing in the movie theater, but there is a podcasters have a moment in that, and it's
so we can
kind of
podcast
funny
about that moment. Okay, cool.
You can podcast about how you feel about the podcaster in that movie.
So you're basically as we wind down, you're just hanging on my podcast these days, or our podcast. Excuse me, I shouldn't be so possessive, but yeah, this one's. Oh, go ahead. You got something to good.
Sometimes there'll be stunrunner at bandcamp.com after I get my all my equipment decontaminated.
Right.
But for right now, catch me on these podcasts, y'all.
Yeah, that's Aural Hygiene Pod. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. I also talk sci-fi movies, and Mark occasionally makes appearance there as well, which is Matt and Luke's Sci-Fi Sanctuary. MLSFS Pod at Twitter, Facebook. I didn't think about it that time. I think that's what to do. You don't think about it. Okay. Party on.
Let the MLSFS flow through you.
And if you want to email me, I'll and pay me money, I'll do a tarot reading for you. Even though I have no
Patreon tarot readings.
Yeah, Patreon tarot readings. That's what I'll do for the Patreon.
Don't you have a Patreon? Don't you have a Patreon? You should plug it.
Oh yes. I remember I have to look at the name.
Podcastius.
There, I should let you do all the plugging stuff. Okay, that's it. I don't know this.
Matt will do a tarot reading. Yeah, send money through their Patreon, and Matt will do a tarot reading.
Send money directly through your directly through your iPhone. Just shove the money into like your iPhone, and it'll hopefully reach through the screen over here.
Yeah, that's how money works. Future.
Probably in this movie.
Send some rubies.